Do you think you are ready?
I think I'm fine. Okay.
Fantastic, then we can proceed. I will keep the card on the screen for your convenience. Let's start. Can you please describe something naughty you did when you were a child?
I think this is quite an interesting topic. As a child, I have done many things that can be considered bad, but I think the most memorable one is the time I skipped class to go play in a board game cafe with my friend. I think I was 9 at the time, and in school we had a class empty for some reason because the teacher was busy. So instead of staying in the class like everyone else, I got asked by a friend to if I want to go out and play with his brother. At the start, it was just a normal playground in the schoolyard, and then we started to leave the school to go to a board game cafe. It is a cafe in which there are a lot of board games that you can choose and play with your friends. And I end up staying there for like 2 to 3 hours. And I was pretty smart at the time, so I timed it so when I leave the board game cafe, it was also the time when my school end. So I thought that I executed the plan perfectly and there's no flaw. However, I forgot that the school texted my parents about my absence. So when I got home, they was mad at me and I got scolded. And I made a promise to not ever do it again. And I think though I did a very bad thing, my parents are very forgiving and did not punish me heavily for that, which I am grateful. As if they punish me too much, I will feel very bad as I did well in schools, and that was my first ever thing that I skipped school, which is now still very memorable story for me still today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this story. Now I can stop sharing the cue card with you and we will continue our conversation. As we started talking about things we do at young age, naughty things, I would like to discuss with you one or more general questions related to this. Let's consider first the topic of parental discipline. Some people believe that smacking their children or using some kind of other physical punishments against children when they do something wrong is not good, that it's wrong to punish children physically. What is your point of view? You've just mentioned that your parents did not punish you heavily. How did they punish you? Did they punish you physically?
No, they didn't. Rather, they scolded me and give me a timeout in which I can hang out with my friend for like a week.
But what do you think? Smacking children, punishing them physically, is it wrong or is it acceptable?
I think that I am on the side of the people who say that using physical punishment is wrong, because when it comes to a child, they rather don't know many things about them. So being hit when they do the wrong thing can be confusing, and it can be seen as a normal activity for them, which is very bad. It can cause traumatize, and it leaves the child with violence tendency. And also there are a lot of ways that you can punish the child that are way more efficient. For example, you can give them a timeout, or now that you can take the electronic, for example, like the phone, so that they can regret the decision and the behavior, which is not violence, and also a good thing to do, that you isolate the child from electronic and let them enjoy the life more.
Okay, But what if such measures do not work for some reason? Why do you think some people, some parents or teachers have difficulty disciplining and controlling their children or students?
I believe that there are two reasons for it, which are contradict each other. One is the punishment is not heavy enough, it's not severe enough. Sometimes the punishment they are given is just getting scolded or doing something that does not affect them at all. So they believe that this is just the normal thing to do. And so they shrug off the punishment and continue to do the bad thing, which in the long run can affect the child badly. However, if the punishment is too heavy, too severe, it can cause the child to start resisting and acting on the parent. So it would be very difficult to discipline them if you don't find a balance between in your punishment.
Okay. What is the worst punishment your parents used against you or your parents used in your upbringing?
Well, I think some of the punishment I have received are, first of all, I was restricted from going outside to have fun with my friends. And I remember when I was young, I was given an essay to write every time I do something wrong because I hated writing essays.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
So, and nowadays they usually punish me by taking away the charger of my phone, as I have less time to use my phone and I have to watch my phone die, which is very heartbreaking for me, at least.
Okay. All righty. And what do you think? You touched this question already a little bit about excessively harsh punishment. The parents use against their children occasionally and what it can lead to. Can you elaborate, please? What are some of the disadvantages of having a very strict upbringing?
Strict upbringing is rather do more harm than good, some of which I have mentioned, but I will now tell you some of the more memorable and noticeable one. First of all is break the bond between you and your child, as harsh punishment, meaning that they will start compare you to other parents who do not punish them that badly, or they will fear you instead of respecting you, which is a bad thing. Also, some child who is bold and very adventurous as a kid, they will start to resist and hate you rather than fear you. So it is bad thing. And the other thing is that the child can grow up and use the same violence to punish the kid or beat the wife, as is a thing that they learn from the childhood, which is a social problem nowadays.
Yeah.
And we're starting to fix that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for participation in this mock test.